getting it, fella. Look here.
Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Draw Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the Power Band, this is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, the Wolverine, along with my super heroic, intrepid companions, Head in a Jar Higo.
That's me.
And the Slab, C-Lab.
What is up?
Welcome to the show, folks. This week, we're talking about the 1991 classic Catherine Bigelow directed action film, but it's not just an action film, and that would be Point Break, starring our beloved Keanu, Patrick Swayze, Size, McGinley, Lori Petty, and a whole host of other excellent performers. Let's get into this excellent movie. High level.
It's also a Buddhism movie.
It's a lot of things, yeah.
It's a lot of things. I defer. I would like to hear your guys' take on this viewing.
Deferment. Wow.
Sure.
Go for it, Ben.
So this, haven't seen it in quite a while. I don't know exactly when, but it's been a very long time since I've seen it. So I was wondering if it was going to hold up. And this movie has no business being as good as it is. It's really good for something that, purportedly could be like an Airborne,
Yeah.
fucking Mountain Dew extreme sports kind of mashed up with bank robbery and fucking FBI and it was fucking damn good, man. Like really, really well done. Like the cast, fucking excellent chemistry, like great chemistry with Keanu and Swayze and great chemistry with Keanu and Lori Petty and great chemistry with Keanu and Gary Busey, like fucking prime Gary Busey, like pre-motorcycle accident. Like it's just fucking really well done, man.
It was actually just after the accident. This is the first thing he did.
Really?
After
Was
the
it?
Accident. Yeah. I just, because I realized I had this on Blu-ray and I fired it up today and I saw that there was like a special features and I wasn't really hopeful, but there was actually a behind the scenes and he was talking about that. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, right on.
Interesting.
Yeah, totally. What else?
I'll sandwich then. Let me sandwich because I want to.
I will leave it there.
Well, wait.
Your reaction.
You're going to leave it there? Okay.
Yeah.
I will leave it there. Yeah.
Like,
Go. What's your name? Go.
whoever the fuck you are.
Whoever you are, go.
I've never connected with this movie. I enjoyed this viewing. Like, I dug it. Like, I don't dislike the movie at all. But I just really disliked this movie back in the day. I was like, this movie fucking sucks. And
Wow.
yeah, I don't know, man. Like I don't know if it was like I always felt that way or it was just because I was working with Sammy King and he was like, greatest movie, best living actor. I'm purposefully doing.
He ruined it for you.
Yeah, he pretty much ruined it for me. And I'm purposely doing a terrible Australian accent, like the fake Australian cops at the end of this movie. Oh my God, that was the worst
Totally.
Australian. I loved it. But I don't know. I just had so many fucking arguments.
It's your Pearl Jam, dude.
It's my Pearl Jam. I had so many
it's your
arguments
Pearl
to and
Jam,
from
dude.
a job site with like, greatest actor, my greatest actor. And it's like, bro, like, I love Keanu Reeves. But he was a fucking 2x4 in this fucking movie. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I think
That's what you thought, or that's what you still think?
That's what I thought. I mean, he's pretty wooden in this, but like I love him so much that like it's a charming, walnut as opposed to like a fucking spruce 2x4. Like he's a charming piece of wood that's a refined hardwood.
Oh my God. Okay.
But he's a bit woody and like it just didn't connect for me back in the day. But like I really enjoyed it. I watched it on the plane coming back from Tasmania last night, so.
Sweet.
I dug it. Like, it was fun, but I've always had this kind of weird Pearl Jammy thing with it where I've just never really dug it. And there's like, it's kind of a weird one, but it's very Red Bull Extreme Sports. It is perilously close to an Airborne. They didn't go Airborne with it. So I'm with you on that one, Benny. But for whatever reason, I've just got this weird thing about it, and I need to be taken to task for it. I need to be hyped. I need you guys to hype me up on it.
Well, I'm gonna hype you
because I know that I'm wrong here.
Did you ever see it like before?
Yeah,
before Sam King ruined it for you.
I honestly think I
like
might have seen it. It was like he is a walking Men in Black device where like I probably watched it a whole bunch, but he like came at it so hard that it just wiped it. It wiped it from my life, and then he just peppered it into my brain as fucking Hamlet, and I was like, hey, fucking Hamlet, bro. So I don't know. Like I have no memory of it before Sam King, which I think is hilarious. But I would have definitely seen it. Like I don't know.
I'm gonna get you hyped on it, dude.
Get me hyped on it. Get me hyped on it.
This is such a unique movie. I think all of the credit for that goes to Catherine Bigelow. We'll unpack
awesome.
all of this stuff later. She just is incredible, man. And this movie is so good. It holds up perfectly. Cast, I think the story is excellent, man. And I think the execution of everything in this movie is excellent. The story moves along at a wonderful clip, and they do not miss anything. There's not like one thing that's like, oh wait, what about that? It's so good. It's deep. It's got action. Like, I mean, what more could you want, man? I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's dig in, dude. This is a juicy steak.
Can we like maybe dig into the deep comment? Because like I had not the opposite feeling, but like it's like I don't know, the McChicken of deep spiritual movies. I just feel like at the time maybe it was deep, but like it feels very shallow to me.
How so?
I don't know if deep is the word I would use to describe it.
I think it's trying to be deep, but I would agree.
Yeah, no, why? I'm waiting for your answer.
Oh no, I know. It's like a fucking self-help book of like, Buddhism for dummies or like spirituality for dummies or something, Where
all right, let me stop you. Before we get too hung up on that, maybe that word choice was too strong. Let me just say it has depth.
Sure, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I think that the word choice is right. I think the word choice is what it's going for. Like I think like Tyler, played by Lori Petty, is like a great foil who's just like, you fucking testosterone bros, like shut the fuck up, Donnie. Like I like that she's pushing back against kind of the surfy dude bullshit, but the surfy dude bullshit isn't really poked fun of here. It's like, obviously the good parts of it are Utah being a bit of a tight ass who kind of finds himself a bit, through surfing, which like I'm totally fine with. Like surfing, from my perspective, having never really done any of it, but like surfing is very much like you literally have to be present. Therefore, it is essentially a form of meditation. Like I totally get how it can be a powerful way to, be present in your body, like martial arts can be, and actual meditation can be, and all that stuff. Like I get that, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. And I totally get why somebody like Bodhi would go the somewhat spiritual route with it and all. Like I don't have anything against any of that stuff, and I think that they're driving at that. But I don't know. You combine it with the like chasing the adrenaline and Red Bull commercial shit, and it just. I don't know. It looked like a deep puddle, but it was a shallow one, I guess. Like I don't know. I'm not articulating it well, but it just wasn't as deep as I think it was.
You're not articulating it well in combination with the fact that you're wrong. So
fair enough.
Look, here's the thing. Like it's the movie, and again, maybe deep was too strong a word, and I'm just going to rephrase that and say that the movie's got depth on a lot of different levels. Like it's easy to watch this movie and be like, oh, this is like a great action movie and it's like bank robbers and all this. And this is a great bank robbery movie, but it combines so many other excellent elements, and it does justice to all of those elements. The relationship with Tyler is well explored, and they fall in love, and there's a whole thing around that. You also have the dynamic between him and Bodhi, dude, and that gets explored enough as well. And then you also have the things that Bodhi talks about in the movie, man, the people moving along the highway in their metal coffins. Why be the servant to the law when you can be its master? Look, dude, whether you think it's tropey or old or tired now, I get it. But regardless of that, he's still exploring those things, man. You know what I mean? He's talking about the similarities between what they're doing, how they're existing in society, how they're choosing to exist in society, and some of the same things that they experience when they're out on the wave surfing or jumping out of the airplane. So, it takes a little bit of time to explore those things as well. So again, deep, not the best word, but it has depth because it has all of those things. And when you take all of those things and combine them together, and that's just 3 things, then you've got a movie with some depth, dude. You know what I mean? And it's also got a really great story, dude. The dialogue is excellent. And honestly, man, to your comment about Keanu, like, I used to think that, but I was watching it this time, and I was reminded when I was watching the behind the scenes that this was the first action movie that he did, right? And before he did this movie, he was doing serious films and art house films like My Private Idaho and things like that, right? So somebody commented that, like people were worried that like, he wouldn't be taken seriously after doing a movie of this type, you know what I mean? Like an action movie like this. But I really think that he is playing that character exactly as it should be played, dude. You know what I mean? And no more. I don't think it's Keanu being wooden, being a new actor. Like everybody in this movie plays it straight. And that's a huge part of why this works so good. And I think he's doing exactly the same thing. And I have never thought that before when I've watched this. And I have seen this movie a zillion times. I haven't watched it in probably a year or two, but I've seen it enough. And when I watched it this time, I was like, he's playing it exactly as, you would play a 25-year-old fucking full head of steam, young, dumb, full of cum, the whole thing, FBI guy. You know what I mean? And in the beginning, there's like a lot of like, he's kind of like, testosterone-y, you know what I mean? But like as it goes through the story, we get a bunch of different.
There's an arc.
The character, there's an arc, and the character grows, and we get some different facets of the character in there. Like his relationship with Bodhi is very interesting, and ditto with him with Tyler. So I think it's actually a really good job, man. And just kind of going back to Ben's comment in the high level, like I think it's really, really, really good, man. And I think all of those things, a lot of those things were, this is what Catherine Bigelow wanted. She made this movie, and I think that's why it's so damn good. All those things plus her, and she's a reason for a lot of that. Sorry, that was
she's awesome.
Lengthy.
Where do you fall on the depth stuff, Benny?
I don't think there's any philosophy that people should try to mine from this movie. If you want to put it that way. I think there's some interesting stuff going on interpersonally between the characters, etc. It's that pull it to another level than just being a stupid action movie, right?
Yeah,
like there's something going on there, but that's where I feel like the any depth comes from, not from any not from any philosophy, from the philosophy of surfing, parachuting, bank robbers. That's about it. In regards to Keanu, Keanu's Keanu, man. You like him, you don't like him. That's up to you. He is who he is. He acts the way he acts. He's not my favorite, but I think this is pretty good for him. Like, this is like a good performance from him. And he's good with the other actors, I think. So
yeah.
There you go.
I mean this in the nicest way possible, but I feel like Keanu is very much a Tom Cruise, which is like very dedicated to their craft. And some people love them and some people don't. And like Keanu obviously has that extra special sauce of like being beloved by the entire internet, but
sure,
like
he's the internet's boyfriend.
That's it, like
there you go. Yeah.
like I kind of disagree a little bit on the Keanu front with what you were saying, Kev, but like it's not worth fucking picking that apart. Other than like just for the sake of conversation, I'll grant you that he plays this one well in terms of like his little arc of being fucking stick up his ass or football up his ass jock all the way through to letting him surf, the Kamehameha fucking wave or whatever. Like, if I grant that he plays the character perfectly, and you sprinkle in that he has a similar kind of acting of other characters in other movies, I think that's where the kind of one-noteness or the woodenness can come in. Like, it's just kind of part of his acting style is to be a bit wooden or whatever, and fine, cool, whatever. Like, I don't have a problem with it. I now have such an appreciation for him as a human that, like, I find the woodenness in this movie charming, whereas, like, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe I didn't. Like, pre-Matrix or whatever, I was just like, this is fucking stupid.
But I think...
Yeah.
I get what people are... I totally understand what people are saying when they say, I think Keanu's wooden, right? Like, I get that. I see what's going on there in his performances that's making people think that way. But I also think... it's kind of a mistake to like criticize him for. It's like criticizing Walken for being Walken-y.
That's a great example.
Like Walken's very distinct. He delivers things a certain way. It's kooky and it's something that he brings to the role, so for better or worse, and sometimes for better and sometimes for worse. And I think Keanu's kind of a similar animal where he just has a certain way of doing his thing that, I understand that in some roles it doesn't work as well. And, he gets a bit of a bad rap sometimes, but ultimately I think, he's not my favorite actor, but I think he's good.
Yeah.
When he's good, he's good. When he delivers, he delivers,
And when he doesn't deliver, it's fine as opposed to bad, too. There's like, there's a little bit of that too.
Yeah, it's more. I'm always more like, that was like the wrong role for him,
Yeah, sure.
Then like he sucks,
Sure.
I'm 100% aligned with Ben here. Exactly what he just said is what I think. Like I don't think he's like, the greatest actor on the planet, but he's not a bad actor at all. And And that characterization, that walk-in comparison, same thing with Tom Cruise, man. You could almost say the same thing about Brad Pitt, sort of. Like
a little bit, eating fucking things on camera all the time.
But like I don't know. He's like I really a movie that I really like is Something's Got to Give with Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton, and he has a small part in that. It's really good. He's really good. It's really different. It's different than what you typically see from him. He's really excellent in it, man, He
kind of shines in some of those small, roles. Like, I Love You to Death.
Yeah, the
fucking
pizza
awesome.
one, man. That was great.
Yeah. He was great in that. Like really, really good. So.
Yeah, I love it or hate it, The Lake House. That was a very interesting premise, dude, and I thought he did a really good job with that too, man.
Well, it doesn't get much more wooden than Bill and Ted, and it's the perfect way to play those guys, for example.
Exactly, man. There you go. And like I think
that's where a lot of that critique comes from.
Yeah. I do. I think so too, man.
Yeah.
I think
knowing
so too.
him from there first, and then just not wanting to accept him as anything other than that character.
Yeah.
Or similarly, not being able to see him as anything else, which is thankfully kind of going away as we move into the modern era, and people kind of understand actors in cinema a little bit more. You know what I mean? Which is good. But I think that's really bang on, man, as Chad would say. It's like seeing him in Bill and Ted's first. It's like it's hard to get away from that. Like, I'm Ted Logan.
It's like pigeonholing Sean Penn as Spicoli or whatever. It's not fair.
It's not. It's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Because he did do a lot of serious films and a lot of art house films. Like we saw the Meatball Pizza movie. God damn it, dude!
I Love You to Death.
Yeah. Ben was just talking about it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I forget the name every time. I never remember the name of the movie, and we all commented that he was really great in that little part that he had. Like
who was the other guy in that one again?
So like William Hurt,
Kevin
Kline,
William Hurt. Yeah. So I'm with that. You know, like I still think like I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, and then we were circling two things at once: the spirituality stuff and the Reeves stuff, and like just to elevensies on the spirituality a little bit. And I don't want to go super deep into this, but like I think it's worth it for like you guys talking about the character interactions. Like I think when I was young, I watched this movie and was very much like I just bought Rage Against the Machine and I live in Nantucket and want to burn the government down because I live in the fucking ghetto of Nantucket. You know, like I'm just such a fucking idiot teenager who was like, fuck the establishment, man. You know, like having never experienced anything hard in my entire fucking life growing up. Yeah, like no, but you just like assume the mantle is like, I'm going to buy a hemp necklace and say fuck you to my teachers because fuck the government. You know, it's like, okay, dude.
I'm gonna whip a VHS tape across the room.
Yeah, exactly. Like just complete fucking idiocracy bullshit. Like just being an idiot. And like 15-year-old me would be like attracted to the Red Bull commercial nature of this, and Bodhi being like "fuck the man." But like, as Kev flies, Slave 2 across the screen.
Go ahead, Slave 1, you're dead.
I think it's Slave 2, but whatever. We don't need to get into that.
It's Slave 1
because Slave 1 was kind of like boxy. Slave 2 was kind of like the Pinto of the bounty hunter ships. Oh, there is a Slave 2. I just can't remember his first or second. Anyways. Like, Bodhi is...
the second.
There you go. Bodhi's a fucking asshole, man. Like, Bodhi's a piece of shit. And 15-year-old me would have not felt that way. And I feel like it's like my kind of... He's Michael Douglas in Falling Down. Like, he's frustrated and like, he's letting off all of the steam that's built up his whole life of seeing people in their fucking metal coffins and stuff. But, like, he's being a fucking dickhead about it. He's getting people killed. He's being a selfish prick. Like, fuck Bodhi. Bodhi's an asshole. And it goes hard with, like, Bodhi's the actual kind of spiritual one, and he passes on a certain amount of spirituality to Keanu, who throws his badge away at the end, and, like, okay, fine. Like, they talk about sometimes how movies or stories are all about like a 5-second change. Like it's all about like the main character or a person changing significantly. And I would argue that, Keanu letting him go at the end and throwing his badge away is probably that moment of change that culminates. And like,
yeah,
okay. Like I'm glad that Keanu Reeves as Johnny Utah, like, succeeds in his career and bags the bad guy, so like cool, like he is successful, but it's more that he's like, fuck this, I'm gonna go surfing, dude, like let's go bowling. Like I like it, but Bodhi's a piece of shit. And when I was 15 I didn't think that. When I was 15 I was like, that's so cool, let's go rob banks. It's like, no dude, like it's just that's the shallow bit for me, I guess, and that's more a commentary on my 15-year-old self than maybe on the movie. But that's kind of where I think some of the shallowness comes in for me. Like,
I'll push back on that a smidge.
Yeah, please.
I think Bodhi shows his true colors when the shit hits the fan and starts making really bad decisions, right? But I don't think I think initially he probably thought of himself as sort of like a Robin Hood kind of
sure.
figure or whatever, and it was like and him and his crew were super close, like super tight, and like they had this like this it was almost like ritualistic sort of a thing they would do together or whatever, and
somewhat culty, but
would
not
bond them closer together. And I don't know if I would say he was a 100% piece of shit, or that he might be irredeemable, but he definitely blows it, like
when
he decides.
Yeah,
to
that's
take,
bang on. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
and then everybody gets killed, and I think he knows it too, though. Like I feel like him being like, "Come on, let me take the wave." Like he knows he's not going to come back from that. It's sort of like death by wave or whatever, and he's sort of it's not really like making up for anything, but
yeah.
I think by this point it's affected him in a way. He seems quite broken.
Sure, as he should fucking be. Yeah, point. Totally.
Yeah,
and I think my issue is that the end, like, you can't make this movie and bag him and not let him get the wave, but like that's what should have happened. he shouldn't have been allowed to go and fucking die out on a wave. It's like, you don't get your fucking dream to be fulfilled here, man. Like, fuck you. And, you know, you made some bad decisions.
He should have had to live
really
with the
do it.
consequences of his decisions,
exactly.
you know? But
So,
something
I don't
about
know.
him not being able to live with it makes me feel like, you know, he's not like,
That's
like,
his weak
yeah,
point.
sure. He's piece of shit. He made really bad decisions.
fucked
He
up,
got a bunch
yeah.
of people fucking killed. And got innocent people involved with shit he shouldn't have.
Yeah,
But clearly he deeply regrets it. You know?
Sure. He's like the drunk driver that took out a car full of people and like has to live with it. Like, I get it. I get that it wasn't intentional, but like it's a pretty shitty.
And if he was a deep spiritual guy, then he would I feel like he would have to live with it. You know what I mean? Like he would understand that that's his fucking cross to bear now, and he has to live with his guilt.
And I guess the frustration is that when the shit hit the fan, he folded or he went to the dark side or whatever the fuck you want to say. Like,
Sure.
his character and his interactions with Utah throughout, up until the issues, up until he shows the video of Tyler, like, it's like, okay, man, you know, like, you want to live on the fringes and chase adrenaline and all that, like, okay, but it's like, I don't understand the decision of fucking holding Tyler hostage. Like, I get tactically why it was chosen as like, oh, it's the only thing I can do now because I need to have some leverage on Utah, but like, it's just so against how he's presented himself, and like, he has a fucking history with the girl. If it was just, you know, Utah's girlfriend who he didn't give a shit about, okay, but it's, I don't know, it just kind of rubs me the wrong way. It doesn't mean it's a bad choice. It doesn't even mean it's a bad story choice or a bad script choice. I don't know. I find it challenging.
You.
I don't even think it's like hard to believe. I just find it. I'm just like, fuck, man, really? And like,
I don't find it hard
you know,
to believe
I know
either.
all roads lead to fucking Haiti and stuff like that, like whatever. But I met a bunch of cowboys like this, and they were fucking dickheads, man. Like in the disaster relief space, and like fuck people like Bodie. And it just, I don't know. It really, really kind of.
The whole Tyler thing, it's out of
Such
character.
an emotional movie.
I don't know, you know.
It's out of character and it's cowardly, you know, like
It's very
really
cowardly.
fucking cowardly. Like, and it just, it kind of doesn't make sense.
I mean, it kind of makes sense through the lens of him having this fucking literal Rand Man meteorological, I can predict the 50-year wave thing. Like, if he wasn't just gonna, if he was gonna pull a fucking Shawshank and just go like live in fucking Mexico and drink pina coladas, it'd be like, that's not motivation to like be ultimately selfish. But he seems to have that like needing to go surf the big wave and be legendary kind of drive. So it kind of lends some credence to just being uber selfish. But I don't know. I just like this, watching that kind of dynamic of him making such piss poor choices and being kind of a prick, like, I think was part of it for me. Because obviously one of my weaknesses in cinema is like, I like serious or kind of I don't know, maybe just serious movies, and like, so I watch all movies through the lens of like, you know, is this a legendary movie? Is this a serious movie? And I think like the playfulness of some of this movie and the kind of action kind of sportiness of some of this movie is intentional. And like, taking movies too seriously, you end up in this place where like either it's all Shakespeare or it's not. And I think it's a stupid lens to view it through. And so like that's an issue that I have, and that's kind of where all of the algorithm shit fell over. Because like, I think I'm wrong that you know, I think the younger me being like, this movie sucks is clearly wrong. But I still have hangups about it, I guess. And so it's just, I don't know. It's interesting to talk about it. It's like a therapy session.
I didn't realize this was going to be such an emotionally charged film and discussion. I'm glad that we can provide your therapy this week, Chad.
And how did that make you feel, C-Lab?
Let's continue to unpack. How did that make you feel? I'm Dr. Fraser Crane, and I'm listening.
I just remembered Bodhi as being like maybe a different way to say it is, I haven't watched this movie in 15 years or something, so it was not fresh, but like, I just didn't remember the details. And so my recollection of the movie was, you know, Utah as the cop, and he goes undercover, and I actually was like, he starts robbing banks with the guys, and then the shit hits the fan, and I didn't remember what that shit was, nor the fan, and then he surfs the wave at the end. And so the kind of like Tyler twist and the kind of bring him under the wing to double cross him kind of thing, I didn't remember. So that was interesting to see it again, and then I was watching it kind of fresh, and that's where that kind of frustration came in.
Sure. I think either it's what Ben said, that either, he's, how did you phrase it, dude? When the chips are down, like when the chips are down, the worst side of him comes out. I think that's how you phrased it.
I think he kind of failed under pressure. Like he failed when the shit hit the fan.
So it was either that or he had never gotten to this point before. Like they had been robbing banks. Like, according to the stats in the movie, like they robbed 30 banks or 40 banks or whatever. They'd never been caught, never fired a shot, never got in trouble, never got greedy, never stayed, never went for the vault. So, like ideals like that are all well and good until something happens that you don't plan for. You know what I mean? So it's either that or the other thing I said, or, it's like, when you start digging into philosophy, right? Like this guy supposedly has, like, I studied a bunch in college, and it's like, if you're coming at it from like a detachment angle, which is kind of where he's sort of coming from, and I'm just gleaning that from some of the things that he says,
Yeah.
If you can really be that detached, you know what I mean? And it's like, then you kind of look at everything like, well, nothing really matters in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? Like, we're insignificant as a planet. We're insignificant as a species. He's at one point talking about like, every 50 years, Mother Nature shows us just how small we are, And when you listen to him talk about like just the roles in society, right? Like, we're robbing banks and you're an FBI agent, but we can exist on our own plane. You know what I mean? Like that's somebody, like, I get all that stuff. Like I've studied a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? And it's
interesting stuff.
And it is very interesting stuff. And that's just so like, if you're coming at it from that angle, then it's like, okay, so he's like detached. You know what I mean? He's detached from everything. You know what I mean? But he's clearly not, because he had a relationship with Tyler and he cares about his bros and his little tight-knit group and all of that kind of thing, But, I mean, maybe he is that spiritually evolved and he can do that, you know what I mean? And he can do all those things and have that attachment. I mean, it kind of doesn't really work, because he says to Johnny in the back of the van, like, I can't do that. I shared time with Tyler. Like, Rosie's like a mechanism, like a machine, so like that kind of makes that fall apart. But it's one of those three things, you know what I mean? It could be one of those three things, you know what I mean? There's lots of different ways that you could sort of look at it. And I think that like this literal discussion is why this movie is great. Like,
sure.
Because, and this is really the depth I was talking about. Like, I didn't really mean that it was like smattered with all kinds of like Eastern philosophy. That was, I feel, I'm so regretting saying that the way I said it the first time.
I think people really can just misinterpret what you said as like backing the philosophy of it, and that's not at all what you were saying. Like, people could
exactly what I was saying was that the depth is really in that it has that little bit of it, right? It has that part where he's this sort of Eastern philosophy guy. And he talks about some interesting concepts and the fact of all these other things, like the relationship with Tyler that Johnny has, and how all these different characters interact. And the story is really just interesting as a premise, dude. Like a bunch of surfers that follow the surf and rob banks.
Yeah,
like
super interesting.
I've never, really cool, like starting premise, dude. You know what I mean? So that's what I think about that. I sort of think I kind of gravitate more towards what Ben said. I think that was sort of like nailing it, And
I think
like,
so. Yeah.
I think it's one of the two things that I said. It's either that, what he said, like the chips are down and he kind of, it kind of falls apart and you kind of see his true self, or another part of him, right? Because he's never been to that point before.
Been tested,
because
truly tested.
Exactly. Everything's been so perfect up until now. I mean, like as we go through the film, before we get to the whole, Utah Give Me Two bank robbery scene, you know, like everything's groovy, man. Like they rob their banks, they never get
they get their
caught. Like
surfer
they
money.
have cool, groovy parties with Jimi Hendrix music and tequila. Like, you know, everything is perfect, you know, and it's just like when you're talking about those ideals and all that stuff and nothing as bad has happened yet, it's like,
That's me. And,
that's great,
that's
man.
me and Rage Against
but
the
guess
Machine.
what?
Yeah.
Exactly. But once one bad thing happens, it's really how do you step up to that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the Mike Tyson.
and
Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face kind of thing.
yeah, fair enough. And to the character's credit, he stepped up quite well. I mean, like all of this shit started going bad, and he just kept moving forward, man.
Yeah.
Ruthless, yes.
Making bad decisions, but he
Douchebag,
kept going.
maybe. Exactly. He kept going. Like he was not stopping. And at the end, when he landed on the ground with Johnny and met up with Rosie, he was laughing and they were like clapping each other on the back and they were out of there, man, you know, and they went and had their whatever good time. I do agree that I'm still kind of chewing on it, but like, because you guys both said a lot, but I think you're right in that he should have been dragged off the beach in handcuffs like that.
Yeah. I don't know how it would have played.
I don't know how it would have played either. That might have been a better ending, but I kind of like that it really wasn't. It was kind of about him getting what he wanted, but it was kind of more about Utah getting what he wanted. Like
It was Utah being like, you fucked up, but I see what you're going for here. I kind of.
Well, I think I was going to say that, and you may be right, but I was going to say that like Utah is just kind of like, that whole adventure has just made me rethink my life, and I don't want to live my life like this anymore. And as soon as I catch you, I'm quitting, and that's it, and I'm done. And that's what he does. You know, he chucks the badge on the ground, and he's like, I am fucking done with this bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to maybe like close this whole thing out, unless you want to say something, Benny, obviously. I think what Benny yeah, exactly. What Benny said earlier about the character interaction, I really think seals it for me. Where like, if you watch this movie as a kind of philosophical actiony study, it isn't that good. If you watch it as a character study, I think it's quite good. Like you don't have to follow the teachings of fucking Patrick Swayze here. You can just see him for the fuck up that he is and folding under pressure and just enjoy the study of the characters and the interplay and to your point, Kev, like it's an interesting idea, you know, like the bank robbers movie, but it's like, how do they figure out who they are? Oh, the timing, the surf wax, the surfer thing. Like it's a really interesting idea. Like it's totally kind of a novel approach to the heist movie, you know, cops and robbers kind of stuff. So through that lens, I think you guys are both bang on with it being like super enjoyable. And I think I just got caught up in the philosophy side of it, which is not the point, maybe.
Definitely not. It's dressing. It's part of what makes the
exactly.
movie great.
It's dressing.
You know what I mean? 100%. So like, I mean, go ahead, buddy.
I was going to say, if I can just add one more thing onto the end here. I feel like by the end of the movie, it's like Keanu, like obviously Bodhi had an influence on Keanu, right? Like he introduced him to something that he was missing from his life. And it's almost as if like throwing the badge away and letting him go at the end. It's like he's becoming what Bodhi purported to be, or he wants to become what Bodhi purported to be. You know?
Ooh, I like that, man.
I like it.
Yeah.
The master is surpassed by the student kind of thing.
And I do think like I was just thinking this as you were saying that, like, this is not like, it's not a happy movie, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not a happy ending of this movie, you know, it's not really wrapped up in a bow, dude. It's kind of like, you know,
it goes bad. Yeah. It's like almost like Boogie Nights or something like that, where it kind of starts off with a lighthearted energy and then it kind of goes south fast.
Oh my God, dude. Boogie Nights gets so fucking dark, bro.
It does. It gets so dark.
Oh my God, dude.
I think that's exactly right, though, Benny. I think Utah achieving what Bodhi couldn't is romanticized as an ending, but I think that choosing to see that as the ending, I think makes it a legendary flick. Like it's like that hits the home run, you know, like that's like, okay, cool, I can buy that. Because like he's, you know, Utah's clean cut and everything, and I agree with your original conversation about Keanu, Kev, where it's like he's total stick up his ass, and he does have an arc throughout, and the arc of him chilling the fuck out is a cool arc. The arc of him chilling out and finding, I don't know, like, I guess finding himself or finding something greater is excellent as opposed to just good, Like, I think, I love it. I love that. I love that we spent a whole bunch of time. We spent a shitload of time on it, but I think getting here was worth that time. Like, I agree. I think
agree.
that is the heart of the movie.
I always agree.
Yeah.
Any movie that we talk about, when the discussion gets like this good, I think it's well worth it. I think that's sort of the core.
It's
of
a
the
slog
whole
to
thing,
get through it, but like talking through it, I think we
sometimes.
got to the spot.
Yeah.
But it's enjoyable,
hyped.
and I really think that. Hang on, Ben, 1 sec. I think like I agree with you, and I think that just to kind of expand on that, like I think what makes this a legendary movie is that it has so many facets to it, and it provokes that much thought. Like you can think about it in a multitude of different ways. You know what I mean? And you can chew on it. You know what I mean? And that I think is what makes it legendary.
Sure.
In addition to what you said. Go ahead, Ben.
I
Sorry.
can honestly say I never gave it that much thought before we
That's
had this
it.
conversation.
I know. I haven't either.
So
I haven't either, man.
I think we've done it some justice. I think
Definitely.
And ultimately, at the end of the day, guys, Sam King was right. Turns out.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's still to me sort of like
an action-y,
like Airborne that worked.
I love it, dude. I love it.
But
I gotta say, dude, as an Airborne super fan, I really don't think that comparison is fair.
And
this
as
movie
a
is way
Airborne,
better
not
than
super
Airborne.
fan. I am on that motorcycle, Benny, all the fucking way, dude. I got my
Well,
surfboard under
then
my arm. And let's go.
I'm being a
That's
little.
fine. I'm
being a tad facetious there, but there is some common. It's like it's the 90s. They were like trying to make all these like fucking extreme movies, and I think
they were, dude.
Although this is like a much higher caliber kind of a thing, it's still going for that sort of, adrenaline junkie fucking,
Dude, this genre of movie morphed
Flaming
into
hot, cool
Red Bull
Doritos.
commercials, dude. Yeah, dude. It's literally Red Bull.
This movie also like really popularized and put a new lens on surfing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
As well. I think that was really, really good. And yeah, you're right. There was like extreme kind of whatever, like Speed was a movie that came out not long after this. And that was, one of those movies that started the whole, like, here we go with the crazy action kind of Con Air, types of movies. But I think the beauty of this movie
to Fast
is that
and Furious.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Jumping these cars off the side.
Proto Fast and Proto Furious.
Right, but exactly. But I think like the beauty of this movie is this is why Catherine Bigelow is so great. And like it's just the movie just has so many angles are explored, and there's so much more depth to it than just a typical like hey dude, it's a bunch of surfers that rob banks. It's just
Oh, it's not. It's not heat.
Yeah. It could have been a dumpster fire, but
it could have been big time.
It's not.
Could have been
at all.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, Chad, that I think is important to point out, like just in the talk about Keanu, like she fought for him.
Did she?
Like,
okay.
there were, there was like Johnny Depp. Actually, Willem Dafoe was offered the role of Johnny Utah. Like, but he's like so much older than him, man. You know what I mean? So that would have been a little weird. He was
been hard to sell him as a rookie.
Thank you.
Hey, fellow kids.
Exactly.
Oh my God. And we have our oldest rookie ever, John Baker. So anyway, that would have been really difficult sell. You know what I mean? So Catherine Bigelow fought for Keanu to be in the movie. Like other names, other people auditioned for the film, like Johnny Depp, and that was kind of where they wanted to be in terms of an actor that had X amount of recognition and that could handle this type of action movie. Again, Keanu is looked at as having done like art house films and more serious films, you know what I mean? And then of course Bill and Ted's, but she really fought hard for him, man. And I don't know, like I think he's right. I think he's good, and I think he's right in this part.
He's
you know
right.
What I mean,
yeah.
I think he did a good. I think he did a good job with it, and he does well with Bodhi. You know what I mean? And the way he plays the whole adrenaline junkie kind of side of the character, with Bodhi. It's like there's so many interesting dynamics going on in this story, and I think the capability of the actors is what really brings that to the forefront and makes it really, really good. Like ditto Lori Petty. I mean, she was in the behind the scenes that I was watching. Like I hadn't really thought about this. Like at first they were like, oh, well, we need to get like a typical surfer girl who's like like a blonde, like sort of like trophy kind of babe. You know what I mean? Lori Petty is the opposite of that, and
But she's the perfect surfer girl, I think.
Exactly. I'm so glad that they went with her being like the against type image of a surfer girl. Anyway, maybe not the surfer girl, but the image of the surfer girl being that kind of like, hot, cute, blonde, whatever, California girl. Like I think she was absolutely perfect, man.
Yeah, she was
like
great.
Kind of petite, wiry, lean, strong, cool, short, kind of punky hair. Like she was absolutely perfect, man. And she had she's Lori Petty, dude. She's got a built-in sass factor that's fantastic, man. She has it in like every movie she does, dude.
Tank Girl, bro.
Yeah. League of Their Own.
Yeah.
League of Their Own too. Yeah, totally.
Great movie.
A lot of love for Lori Petty. Just on the surfing bit before we cast out, because I think casting out would make a lot of sense. Like, I presume you guys have probably seen Riding Giants, the Stacey Peralta documentary about like Laird Hamilton and big wave surfing and stuff. If I assume,
I feel like I have, but I'm not really sure.
I feel like Laird Hamilton is, minus the bank robbery, is essentially, a successful version of Bodhi. Like, it's worth a revisit or a visit for the first time if you haven't seen Riding Giants. So Stacey Peralta's like one of the original skateboarders back in the day, Dogtown Z-Boys stuff, and like he became a documentarian.
Totally, dude.
I know you guys know this, but just for the sake of listeners, maybe they don't. Riding Giants was a cool big wave movie. Like, I'm not a surfer at all, but like I don't know. I've watched some of the surfing movies, like Endless Summer 1 and 2 and all that kind of shit.
We've been exposed to surfers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we've met plenty of them.
Been exposed. That's a great way to put it.
It is a great way to put
Thank you.
I've been, yeah.
I'm so proud of that moment right there.
It's perfect, yeah. It's the true, classic, dude. Like, how do you know if someone's an ultralight hiker, it's like, or a vegan or whatever? It's like, don't worry, they'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
And but like he's like, I don't know. It's just something about actual big wave surfing and that documentary that kind of like for non-surfers like me like brought it to the fore. Like, Bodhi's onto something. He's onto something with wanting to surf the ginormous wave, and like I really like the meditative aspects of what it sounds like surfing is. Like the like requirement to literally be 100% present, which is one of the hardest things in the world to be. Like, I went on a retreat once for meditation. I spent 30 days meditating for 8 hours a day, having never meditated before. And in those 30 days, I actually meditated for about 30 seconds. Like, actually was like, oh, is this what it's supposed to be? And then like it went away, like for 10 seconds, and then like a week later, it was like, oh, there it is again. Oh, no, it's gone again. Like, it's fucking really hard to do.
Oh.
And surfing by definition seems like you have to be present, otherwise you fall the fuck off. And so like I have a lot of respect for that element of it. And then you factor in the big wave stuff, like where it's like, if you're not present, if you're not fully present, you fucking die. Like, I appreciate some of that philosophical stuff. And so like the Laird Hamilton stuff is a really interesting, true life case. And he seems to really live it. He's a crazy fucking dude. If you've ever heard anything about him, like he does these crazy like workouts in his pool with fucking weights, and he has a sauna with like a battle fan fucking cycle in it. And he like works his dick off and works out like 10 months a year just to go surfing for the 2 months that there's big wave surfing. And he does hydrofoil surfing because the humans can't paddle fast enough to get into some of these waves, so he gets pulled in with fucking jet skis and shit. Like the dude's a
I've
fucking
seen
animal.
I don't know if
So,
I've seen that movie, but I've
I don't
seen
know.
the bits about the jet ski tow-ins.
It's cool, man. Like he like invented,
It's
he and
crazy.
his buddies invented a new form of surfing, and like it's a really interesting kind of documentary space. Bringing that in, I think, is interesting because the surfing piece is an interesting piece.
No, it's definitely an interesting piece, man. It is such a different, interesting angle to this movie, man. And I think that's one of its super strong points, man. And
Yeah.
the guy that came up with the story concept was one of the producers, and like he was just like sitting on the beach one day, and he was like, "Wow!" And he had read an article that had said that L.A. was like the bank robbery capital of the world. And he's like, "Wow, what if like a bunch of surfers were bank robbers?" It's like, boom,
And it fits,
dude. There you
dude.
go.
Surfers
man.
are so
Yeah,
lazy;
it's-
they just want to eat their sandwiches and go surfing. They want sandwich money. You know what I mean? Like go and rob a bank and go live in Hawaii for a few months. Like it's so perfect.
Totally, man. You know, I think
Are you disappointed in the sandwich money thing, man?
No, not no. I'm just thinking about the surfers that I've known and worked with in my lifetime, and just their eternal bullshit. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, surf's up, fucking
Totally,
out here.
man.
Like,
Yeah.
like just dropping everything
Yeah.
to fucking go, and like just making any excuse possible. Like to.
Yep.
But on the other side of it, like being so hardcore, you're like, dude, fucking do it self, like. But then, like, but then on the other side of it, it's like one drop of rain falls from the sky, and they're like, oh, dude, it's fucking raining, I gotta go, like
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
My favorite kind of comment on Nantucket surfing, and I'm like, feel free to give me shit about it. My tubby for free ass is like, oh, dude, these fucking waves are so fucking small, bro. And then, like, one day they'd come in big. It's like, those waves are too fucking big, man. It's like, do you guys actually surf, or you just complain about the opposite of the waves that there are?
There is some of that for sure.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of like big fish, small pond syndrome out here, I think, with the surfing.
It's so
kinda,
funny.
But then like I don't want to. I don't mean to completely shit on this.
No, you're not shitting on surfing as a whole. You're just shitting on the group of surfers that we know.
and not even all of those,
sure.
guys, because some of them are, they're. It's not that they're fucking horrible human beings.
No,
but, when you're just kind of exposed to their like horse
the
shit on a
world.
daily basis.
but they literally are. They literally are the guys that are around the campfire being like, "Fuck the system, man. Fucking tin box bodies in a tin box, man. Fuck it." Like.
Well, they're
But it's funny, dude.
Dude,
Like,
you like Sublime? Bro, you like Sublime?
I was in Costa Rica with a buddy of mine.
Dude, you like Crangbin?
I was in Costa Rica with a buddy of mine, and we were just visiting our friends who were surfers, and
sorry.
no, it's fine, man, it's fine. We were like fucking hammocks in the trees. We slept in hammocks in the trees along the surf break. Like, I didn't go fucking surfing or whatever, but there was this dude, and he had like a shitty old Volkswagen van, and it was like it was like a 2-hour drive on a dirt road out to this fucking surf beach. And so you just lived out on the surf beach, and this fucking dude in his van and his like Costa Rican girlfriend, and they would go and buy like shitty deli meats and bread and just drive around selling surf sandwiches to surfers. And it was like his life, man. And it was so like, it was the most perfect surfer dude thing. He's like salami that's been sitting in the fucking surf van all day and kind of has like that little like slimy, oily gleam to it because it's not refrigerated at all. And he makes his living selling surf sandwiches to stoners in the fucking middle of the jungles of Costa Rica. It was just so great, dude. Like,
sounds like some even lower rent version of like the grilled cheese vendors.
Yeah,
like
dude.
the illegal grilled cheese vendors that go to like dead shows and shit like that.
Well, it was like back in the day. Like, I don't know.
Oh my
I don't know
God.
if you guys know.
Bro, Grillies.
I'm being triggered. Trigger.
It was a combo, though. It was like you could buy one grilled cheese for $5, or you could buy a grilled cheese and a balloon of nitrous for $6. dude.
fuck?
I don't know if you guys remember Pepper Frazier from back in the day in Nantucket. He's like a realtor now, but he was a dready dude.
Yeah.
And he had an ice cream truck, and so he just like get stoned and drive the ice cream truck around and make just enough ice cream money to fucking surf for the week. It was just, oh my god,
That's
I know,
what that guy did.
Yeah. It was his Dalton and Pepper Frazier, dude. But it's just I don't know, like. The like actual surfers that I know are all these kind of people, and then like Bodie's like, nah, man, it's bigger, man, you know, and like,
Yeah.
Laird Hamilton had that and has that, I guess, but like, there's so many fucking, so many grilled cheese nitrous dudes out there that I just can't handle it.
Grilled cheese nitrous dudes this week on the EBD podcast.
I love it.
Oh my god, oh my god, you know, you sit there and they start fucking going on about you know, you could just walk up and, oh hey, what's going on? Oh, I went surfing this morning. Oh cool, how was it? Oh, it was awesome, man. It was glassy, onshore, light wind. I'm like, dude, I don't know what any of that shit means, dude.
It's the bleep bloops, dude.
Give
it's
a
surfer
shit.
bleep bloops.
Well, maybe it is, dude, but
Fucking chest high, break it both ways, fucking.
fucking just drives me crazy, dude. And then the other thing too that drove me, like, every single one of them is like, your meditation story was very interesting, by the way, Chad. Like, as I've studied that for many, many years, right? And like, they're all like, oh no, dude, you don't get it. It's just like it's so like this, and you just, you know, you find your zone and you find your spot, and it's like every single one of them thinks that is the only way on the planet that you can reach that kind of Zen state. And every single one of them, I never ever got into this argument, but I wanted to about 1,000 times and just be like, dude, you can get there doing a great number of, I was going to say anything, but I held that back because you can, like, you know, if you like, I studied Taoism in college, and it's just like, you know, if you're really doing the Tao, like, there's a perfect way to do everything. And in that perfect way of doing everything, including like just picking up your coffee cup.
Yeah. Mindfulness.
That is reaching into that space. Exactly. So like, I just, oh my God, that shit used to drive me absolutely crazy, man.
Oh, same hiking, dude. Like, I was out for 6 months, and there was probably 2 or 3 times for maybe 10 or 15 seconds each where it was like, it literally felt like the entire earth was rolling under my feet. Like, it's a walking meditation. You know, it's the same thing, but like, the point is that 8 hours a day times 30, you know, so 240 hours or whatever of fucking meditation, and there was 30 seconds of actual presence, you know, like there was 6 months of walking, dude, and there was 1 minute of actual presence. Like, it's a very, 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 very difficult state to feel, for me at least. And I think, you know, surfing forces it a bit more, maybe, but I think you're right. Like, there's many ways to, like, you could, like, even the Thich Nhat Hanh style of mindfulness, like, or Zen Buddhism, you can get it.
Achieved those states playing music, you know.
Absolutely.
Yes, there you go.
Totally.
Same here.
Absolutely.
You're in a band unit and you're jamming, and you sort of like, it's almost like you're not doing anything.
Yeah, it's a flow state.
You're just like at the nexus of all this stuff happening, and you're part of it. But it's like it's great. It's a cool thing. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to get there for sure.
I get it.
It doesn't just happen from surfing.
Surfers nor meditators have any monopoly.
Exactly. Yeah,
no, they don't. I think what they need to do is fucking get some hobbies other than what they do.
Yeah, like selling sandwiches out of a van.
Try something else, bro.
Yeah, like besides grilled cheeses and surfing. Yeah,
exactly. I love that there's skydivers in this too, man, because it's like the perfect bro side hobby, you know. It is like, I love how proto Red Bull it is, man. It's just, I love it. It's great.
It's really proto extreme, but the beauty of it is there is none of that stupid bullshit in it, and there's also, I absolutely just love, there isn't a single bit of slow motion in this movie whatsoever.
Oh my God, I hadn't considered that, and I'm so in agreement.
right? I was like watching it and I was like, God, if this movie had one frame of slow-mo, it would be ruined. It's so
Nah, I'm
beautiful
with you.
that it has none because it's such a like a not I mean at times depending on how the movie's pacing like or which part of the film we're in, it's pretty high octane, you know what I mean? And it's like
Totally.
you could have done slow-mo like when they ditched the car, the town car, and then we get the foot.
Yep.
That's where the foot chase starts. And they could have done some slow-mo there, especially with the gas, the gas station, but they didn't.
Sure.
And I'm so glad they didn't, dude, because it just fucking made it so energetic and so exciting, dude. That foot chase is so excellent, man. It's like,
Considering the tech
it's
at the
funny that
time.
we just, it's funny that we just talked about Cameron because Bigelow and Cameron were married for a while. I don't remember which of the 30 wives he's had she was, but like, Cameron like executive produced this movie, man. And clearly some of what he had
They
going
did the
on
final
in
script together. He couldn't get credit for it.
Neither of them could. Yeah. So they didn't, but, it's funny because I was listening to our Terminator episode today. I didn't finish it, but I got pretty close. And we, commented on what a genius Cameron was. And it's like some of him must have rubbed off on her. And I think she's just
And vice
innately
versa.
She's almost like a female Cameron. Like she's so talented, dude. You know what I mean? And like Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30, like actually,
Hurt Locker's so
she
good.
got all these accolades for those movies in addition to them being great films. And this is a great film. And like,
Yep.
That foot chase is just excellent, man. It's like it's as excellent as some of the action scenes in this are as excellent as the ones we commented on in the Terminator.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like just in terms of like their rawness and their realness, man. Like that foot chase was just bananas, dude. Like
even the beach fight had a lot of energy.
Oh, the beach fight was excellent, man. You mean the one with the
with the surfer
punk
douchebags?
Yeah, Ketis and company.
Yeah.
Fucking Ketis.
All right.
Shoots himself in the foot.
So good. Yeah, even just those guys, like so many story choices here. I forget what movie we were talking about recently where it was like the sum of its parts, like elevated it to another level. Like I think the idea of the surfer robbers is cool. The cast chemistry levels it up. And then some of the smaller pieces levels it up even more. Like having the kind of crew of fuckheads who seems to be the robbers, and you don't really, as a first watching, you don't really know it's Bodhi's crew until later. Having Kiedis' crew, be the
red herring,
the bait and switch is really cool. Like you want to believe that these asshole fucking Nazi fuckhead surfers are the actual problem, but it turns out they're not. And then you get the Sizemore scene and stuff. Like it's cool. It's a really clever way to kind of keep driving the action and the momentum forward, but also having like an interesting fuck up moment.
Well, it's a great little switcheroo. You don't really. I didn't realize it at first, and like this is one of those weird movies where sometimes, like every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, I want it to be those horrible people, but it's not. It's Bodhi because you like Bodhi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until you don't like him later. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like when I watch Friday Night Lights. I know the Panthers are going to lose every single time, but like,
but you still root
in
for
the end game. In the end game, I do. In the end game, I'm like,
yeah.
come on, man. You
Maybe
guys can
this
do it.
time.
It's like, and then the other me is like, bro, it's a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
You've already seen it,
I love
But
that.
it's so
That's
good. Yeah, it's
not
cool.
going to change
So-
on this watching.
No, not going to change. No, don't.
It's all right. Say hello to your mother for me.
If we had gold stars, Chad, yeah, I would have given you one for that one.
Hey, man.
Good one.
Got to take the opportunity.
Sorry, I missed some of that.
No, that's okay.
I felt like we were kind of diving into.
I think it's worth
action,
shifting.
which I
We were
thought
talking
was-
about Kiedis' crew. It's probably worth shifting into either kind
Yes,
of like
Kiedis is,
Nuggety Bobs
Kiedis'
or
crew.
Casty Bobs.
but like they were great too. You know what I mean? Like there's no like cliche tropey dialogue in this movie. You know what I mean? Like when he gets confronted by those guys, dude, it's a great scene, dude. And I love the way she shoots it. So everybody's face is right here in the camera when they're talking. And then it's slightly pulled back when we see Keanu Reeves talking, when he's going, okay. Okay, this is the part where you tell me that yuppie insects like me, nope. You know, and like just short and to the point, dude. And then they're just at it, man, you know. And then Bodhi comes in and like I actually wrote that in my notes. Like that fight scene is really, really good, man. It's like
You get a
it's
little
got
bit
that
of
same
Roadhouse
rock.
Dalton action going on too. There's just a sprinkling.
We do get a little bit of Roadhouse Dalton. Nice catch. I saw that too. And then also that like it's got that same gritty quality that Terminator had, you know, in a lot of those scenes, man. It was just a straight up fight. There was no like annoying over the top sounding Foley effects on the punches or the kicks. Like they sounded like real, like, you know, meat hitting meat. And it had a really authentic quality to it that I thought was just great, man.
Sure.
Really, really great. I love that fight scene.
And you get the Businator coming up at the end, you know, trying to save the day. Oh, you guys seen a kid come through here? Like,
It's all fucking out of breath, dude.
Busey's
I love it.
just
Johnny, you better not be picking up any babes.
Busey
Right,
is
it's
the
like
fucking best
weird
choice. for
ocean fucking Pacific shirt.
this. Oh man,
Totally. In his like Hawaiian shirt, you know?
Yeah,
So
like
good.
those like 90s patterny like OP shirts. Like
Oh yeah.
stole it off Nick
Yuck.
Nolte.
Just to kind of go off of that, like all of the action in general, I just thought was top notch in this movie, man.
Yep.
You know, like, and it's a very physical movie too. And I don't mean, I mean that in the most obvious sense, but it's also just like these dudes are surfing, they're skydiving. Both those things are hard and scary. Certainly skydiving, and then it's just like the fight scenes and the freaking foot chase scene, and it's like, oh my god, man, that freaking when they raid that house, dude, again, an excellent just the way the whole thing is shot and done, dude. It's very tight, very real. You feel like you're there but not on a set, and it feels really authentic, including the sound design, which I really applauded and I really paid attention to, I think, for the first time on this watch. In particular when he you know, he football tackles that guy out through the window, man, and they get in that crazy fight in the lawn right next to the lawnmower, and it's like really exactly how a fight like that would be. You know what I mean? Where you're just trying to overpower each other. You know what I mean? And then somebody introduces a knife into the mix. You know what I mean? It just didn't have that, like, you know, Statham movie kind of, or any other action movie type of, like, you know, two dudes squaring off and like, oh, there's all these sounds and this and that, and it's, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
anybody feeling me here? Help me out.
I like that. I like the fight scene. Yeah, man. The house sequence and the lawn fight scene. There's nothing to complain about. Like, it's a little over the top with the lawnmower shit, but like, whatever. Like,
yeah. The scenario was a little over the top.
it's forgivable. It's totally forgivable.
It was well. I feel like the action was well filmed in this.
Thank you. That's what I mean.
In a way that, you know, some of the too, you know, close in the fight kind of shit that they try to do nowadays loses the plot of what's actually happening.
Yeah,
Right. I agree.
this kind of succeeds where those fall down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with
I
that.
think so, because it's almost like a scale of, like, it's like when you're zooming with a monocular or a pair of binoculars, like you can go way too far out and you can't see, or you can go way too close in and you can't see. And I feel like what Ben is saying, because we've had this discussion numerous times, like, if you go in tight, man, and then you go in too tight, you will still not be able to see anything, and it will not be very cool at all. And this, the distance is perfect, man. You know what I mean? So I don't know which part of the lawnmower pot you guys thought was over the top, but
Well, it's just the, like,
you know,
it's like 5 minutes of pushing a face into a lawnmower. You know, whatever.
oh, okay, well, whatever,
It's like-
yeah, but
it's like the-
it's just the end.
yeah,
It's like the fucking the airplane fight in Indiana Jones, but it's like not the right kind of movie for that, and it's also on like a much more small scale. You know?
Sure, but like,
yeah.
the airplane fight in Indiana Jones and this kind of a fight, like, the whole point of those fights, from my perspective, is that they're titillating. They're like, oh wow, look at this fucking huge fight. Like, it's not realistic at all, but it's like fun. It's like a really fun kind of titillating fight, you know, and like it fits.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the pieces of this movie are that, you know, it's over the top, but it's like, it's what fucking Fast and the Furious tries to be. Like, this succeeds where that doesn't. You know, it's trying to be titillating, whereas this just, you know, kind of has the right amount. Like, fucking, for me, Fast and the Furious is like a fucking sweet bowl of French fries with like 7 pounds of salt on it, whereas like this movie is just you know, it's like well seasoned and like it isn't over the top. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's well said. And I think, well, firstly about the fight scene, like I wasn't even thinking about the lawnmower face part. I was really thinking about all the bits that lead up to that, like, just in the way that the distance that it's shot at and how it's structured and like how the actors are doing it in the fight. You know what I mean? There's just a lot of
half of it is the building of tension before they even kick in the door. It's like, let's just say it's a 4-minute sequence and 2 minutes of it is watching these guys load their fucking guns and freaking out. It just builds the tension and really like, oh shit, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then it pops off. Like,
yeah,
it's
again,
well-structured.
another really, yes. Well, again, great structure there, man. Absolutely. And I think the reason why this thing is so good is that you've just got this great combination of really good story, great premise, great dialogue, actors all playing it basically straight, you know. And then of course like all the shots and the setups and all that kind of thing, man. And really the sound design too, you know. It all just meshes together beautifully to make this exactly that what Fast and Furious and so many of these other movies are going for and just not achieving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is hard, but it's so not hard, you know what I mean? And it's all these other movies just can't.
You just ruin the dish by putting too much spice on
it. Exactly, man. You know, too crappy close fighting, you know, it's just like
it's Transformers.
No, dude.
But I mean, like Busey at the front door talking about his fucking dog, dude. It's just I love him in that.
Oh my god, Scooby!
It's just like I fucking love Busey.
I don't know anything about your fucking dog,
right, dude? I love I don't know.
Those bitches were fucking. Those were some heavy metal
hard
bitches,
girls, dude. They were like biker.
Oh my
chicks.
god, man!
Hardcore,
dude. I'll drop an early nugget. Do you guys know the naked one that like goes after Utah? Do you know where she's from?
No, but I know you're going to
tell me. Billy Idol's "Rock the Cradle of Love" music video. She's that like amazing.
Oh, I did read that.
In there. I love that.
Yeah, I did read that. Yeah, that's good.
There wasn't a 13-year-old boy in the world that wasn't in love with the "Rock the Cradle of Love" girl.
100%, man.
Rock the cradle of love.
100%, dude.
100%. I love how crazy 100%. She goes. Like she goes from screaming shower girl to like full on fucking.
It's like beating the shit out of somebody in the buff.
I feel like that's Bigelow, dude. Like I feel like a dude in that scenario would just have the girls being screamy dumbasses, and I think Bigelow is just like, nah, man, these girls are gonna lay shit down, you know.
And they do, dude. One of them takes a piece of that. I think it's a piece of glass from the broken shower, or a chunk of mirror, and she stabs one of the agents in the back, dude.
And even the chick in the black lingerie, like she gets in the way and she's trying to fuck with them and stuff. You know, like I don't know. I just love that they had just that they were part of the crew. You know, I like that a lot.
Yeah, like hey, let's write characters for the women instead of making them just nothing. Like you know what I mean? It's so refreshing, dude.
It was great.
I'm a huge fan of that. What else?
I don't know, man. McGinley?
Wow, it's already Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God, McGinley. Man.
McGinley.
He was a great ball busting chief.
He was saying in the behind the scenes that he was just like, man, he's like, I read this and it was just like one scene stealing after another, and he's like, I absolutely loved it. He's like, I had so much fun doing this. You know,
like he's an FBI chief,
so good.
But fuck me, he's one of the best. He's one of my favorite ball busting chiefs.
I agree.
Out of all the ball busting chiefs, like
he's the ball busting chief, but he's not like the coffee drinking, cigarette smoking ball busting chief. He's like the
book of regulations up his ass chief.
He's like and like the super square like health nut, you know.
Yeah.
Take the skin
Data
off my
crunching.
chicken.
Yeah. Take the
Exactly.
skin off chicken, sir.
And then smashes the donut. That fucking line, dude. He's like, I guess we had a national shortage. He's like, not so far.
Yeah. That was great.
Great, dude.
I
There's some zingers
don't.
in this.
He was saying that walk and talk, like the technology had just come out to be able to do a shot like that, and he said they
like
spent an
Steadicam
entire day
stuff or whatever.
He said they spent an entire day on that one shot.
Yeah,
just
right.
Walking through the office like that. I thought that really.
It's such
cool.
a common thing now. Like it's so easy to forget that the shit was all invented. You know, throughout a lot of these legendary movies. I find that's one of the hardest things about revisiting movies is like you forget that it was the originator of a lot. You know, these movies are the originators of a lot of this stuff.
I know you're right. And just touching back on McGinley for a second, like he's a good ball busting chief because he's not trying to be a ball busting chief. He's just playing the part.
Yeah,
and it's fucking just works so good. And he's got one of the best all-time ball-busting chief volleys ever. Yes, the surfboard bothers me. Yes, your whole approach to this case bothers me. And yes, you bother me. With the volume turned up to 11 and the intensity turned up to 20. So good, dude. So good.
I think him saying that it's scene steal after scene steal, like I think that's dead right. Like every time he's there, it's just a great little back and forth, you know, culminating with Busey respecting your elders line. Like,
oh my God. Yeah,
so
why don't
good.
you enlighten me, shithead? So good.
It's the what was it? It was I'm probably gonna die here. Was it the Predator 2? Or was it Die Hard where they punched the news guy?
Die Hard.
Yes.
But it's just that same vibe, you know, like the dude just is so punchable, and then you get the punch at the end. I don't know. There's something so gratifying about the punchable trope where they actually do punch the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a perfectly punchable guy. Bob from Office Space.
Yeah. As a very quick aside, I heard this or read this or watched this in a video in the new Ghostbusters movie. William Peck.
Yes.
Played by our
Atherton,
our boy, is the mayor.
Really?
Yep. It is
Yeah.
true.
In the new, like the one that was just in the theaters?
That one, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frozen Empire or whatever.
Frozen Empire
cool.
with everybody but
I
Harold
watched
Ramis.
it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I've got it. I want to check it out.
And
I
McManus.
really liked you recommended watching the more recent one, Benny, and it was fucking great. Watch it with the kids. Yeah,
What
cool.
do you mean,
Yeah,
the Paul Rudd one?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, the road one. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, Rudd's in this one too.
Okay, but the farmhouse one, that's the one you're talking about, Chad?
Yeah,
Yes.
the Finn fucking what do we call Finn Wolfhard? Wolfsbane fucking dragon sword or some shit.
Make something
No,
up.
no,
Yeah,
no.
there you go.
No, it's I wrote it down and I made a City of Heroes character based on the name. It's Hawk Wolfsbane.
Love it. McGinley's up there, man, with like the Atherton. Some of these guys, are just like the most.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
just
know.
have a
Legendary punchable dudes. I fucking love them.
Yeah, total dickhead sort of quality to them, even though they're probably
Totally.
nothing
Fucking
like
love
that.
'em.
They just are very good at pulling it off.
Yeah, dude. Eat shits for breakfast is another one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like a hall of fame for these dudes. There's a hall
Yeah.
of fame in Valverde.
Mm.
Just go and punch these guys.
The Hall of Fame in Valverde.
It's just a hallway you can walk down with a bunch of those like inflatable
Yeah, you just
like,
punch the shit out of them.
bottom weighted, full size Weeble sort of things that you can
Totally.
punch and they like come back up.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. You got Peck. You got all of them.
Did
Yep.
Yeah.
Drawing a blank.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Should we bits and bobs to the our way to the end?
Probably.
Sure.
I love the
Um,
the Top Gun volleyball-esque headlights football thing.
You know what I like even more than that? I love the belly shirt that Johnny
Oh, yeah.
Utah is wearing in that. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, a belly shirt. How sexy.
No doubt.
Sorry, I meant not sexy.
Really going for that
For a
football
man.
thing.
Oh my God. I was like, that's so not right.
And I love that, Utah takes Bodie out in the shore. And they're like, what the fuck, bro? And Bodie's like, nah, man, this is Johnny Utah, Ohio State, fucking Rose Bowl, man. They're like, no way, bro. And Lori Petty's like, that was you? It's like, shut the fuck up, Donnie. It's fucking
Yeah.
great, man.
Yeah,
love
it was.
It's so all-American bullshit.
Don't you think that was a little uncalled for, man? Hey, don't you know who this guy is?
It's Johnny Utah, man.
No.
Great name, by the way.
Yeah, really
Oh my
great name.
God.
So perfect.
Johnny Utah.
I know, right? Johnny Utah.
It's almost like the Joe whatever, meme from the 80s. Like it sounds like it could be cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
No, one of the producers said they were trying to do basically like a Joe Montana,
Yeah, okay.
who was a
Okay.
football player. So Joe Montana, Johnny Utah, like, okay, sure,
Works.
why not?
I never thought about it, but it works
Yeah.
perfectly.
I wasn't talking about Joe Montana though. I was talking about
No, I know.
when somebody's like talking to yeah, exactly. Joe fucking
Joy bag of donuts.
copying machine or whatever. Yeah, like
No, we did Joe Reliable, like we talked that thing.
Yeah,
did,
yeah,
we
we
did,
did.
There
like,
you go. Yeah.
a
I
couple
can't remember what
of-
it was a long time ago. But yeah, totally.
It was like Joe Reliable.
Hey, Johnny Utah, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
totally works.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, the belly shirt was on my list.
Speaking of, you were talking about the shooting of the fight sequence that had the lawnmower in it, and how you liked some of the shot choices. I picked up on, I mean, you probably did too, but I picked up on in the tequila party scene. Normally, it's like, the camera moves through the party in a party scene, but in this case, some of the extras looked into the camera, broke the fourth wall, and that made you feel like you were at the party, which I thought was an interesting choice. I don't know if it was intentional or not,
Yeah.
but that was cool.
I think it was, and I
the party
liked
scene
it.
was
I
kinda
liked
cool.
it a lot. Yeah, no, it was good, man. It was. I don't know, just it made you feel exactly like you were part of it, like you were there. It was cool. Oh, shout out to Jack Keller, who he'll always be the pure hydro guy from Waterworld to me, but he's
Oh,
been in a
yeah.
bunch of
Was
movies
he
that
in
we've
this?
done. Yeah, he was the he was Dr. Bleep Bloop in this.
I refresh my memory. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's easy to miss him, dude. He was only in 2 short scenes. He was a little bit when they went to check out the car from the first bank robbery, and then
Okay.
again in the lab later. But it was definitely Jack.
gotcha.
It was definitely Jack Keller.
Totally
and he
missed
was
him,
like,
man.
The
yeah. When
fucking-
I missed it too, actually, for years. And when they're in the car, he leans over and he's like, "Sweat secretions."
Oh, that
came
guy.
into-
Yes.
yeah, that's Jack Keller.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
It's talk about bleep whooping. Jesus, all that shit was ridiculous with the fucking
Oh,
the wax and the
yeah,
fucking
dude. And the fucking mercury levels.
whooshing on the mercury and fucking blah, blah,
That
blah,
was
blah, blah.
yeah.
great.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I like
So
how
I become a wax
so
expert.
it's so dumb the pollution bit that when Utah's like, you buying it, and Pappas is like, nope. I like that they were a little bit self-aware there. It was great.
Yes, dude.
Traces
Yeah.
of titanium and
Yeah.
Yeah, some
Jesus.
selenium titanium mixed with a little bit of mercury.
Yeah, or like when in the beginning, like this is sort of a shout out to like Keanu, like what in the very beginning when he comes on board, and Pappas finally tells him what his theory is, and he's like, "Okay, guys at the bat, I can't fucking do it."
Yeah,
Okay,
dude.
guys at the beach, waxing his mustache, wipes some of it off with his shoe. I was like, dude,
It's so good.
stop talking.
Even he couldn't hold it together, man. He was laughing about
Holy
it.
shit. Okay, so my next one is this guy just pops up in the most interesting places. And I didn't even realize it at first. But Rosie is Lee Turgison,
Lee Turgison.
who's we know and love. We've talked about him many times, and he's
I'll
rosy.
go at bat for him one more time. Generation Kill, dude. Iraq War miniseries by the creator of The Wire.
Okay,
With Skarsgård.
Whatever your name is, I'll fucking watch Generation
Skarsgård. You're never gonna watch it, but you should watch it
1,000 times. I am gonna watch it,
dude. Terry from Wayne's World. I love how Terry from Wayne's World is like the hardest motherfucker in this.
Skarsgård. You ever seen that SNL?
No,
but
I love it.
I don't need.
It's like
to.
a pirate convention at a fucking like a Hilton, and like the special guest is like that's not Bill Skarsgård. It's fuck. Well, anyways, it's one of the Skarsgårds, and they get him. But the pirates literally get him just because they love saying Skarsgård, and he's like trying to give a speech, and like in the middle of it, he's like, "You guys just have me here because my name is Skarsgård, right?" And they're like, "No, but maybe yes." Okay, Skarsgård, we'll be straight with you.
Oh, that's good. That is good.
Love it.
It's like fucking Bill Hader and
I love me a Skarsgård.
Fuck's the other guy? Will Forte.
There you go.
I mean,
we're
it wouldn't
bobbing
be
here, or
it wouldn't be a Vince
Yeah,
and Bob
yeah,
section
yeah.
without the meatball sandwiches, would it?
That's just what I was going to say, buddy.
Yeah,
Lay it out, boys.
it's just the most ridiculously weird little entrance, but it makes the goddamn movie, man.
It's so good.
I think it was ad
We got
lib
the
too.
best meatball sandwiches. I want you to give me 2 of them. You tell. Give me
Give me
2.
two. Best
I
I've
love
ever
the
tasted.
silliness of that too, where the shot of Utah over the shoulder and he like grabs him and he doesn't see them going in. like it's silly and great.
Yeah, because he's reading Calvin and Hobbes, dude.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's just cracking up about it.
Missing the whole bank robbery because he's reading Calvin and
I mean, to be
Hobbes.
fair, at that time I was reading lots of Calvin and Hobbes too. Like, what's not to love?
Sure, and that's why so many people got away in the early 90s from the FBI.
Calvin and Hobbes is full,
That's
bro.
it.
It's fucking
Calvin and Hobbes, bro.
man. Curse you, Bill Watterson!
I love me some Calvin and Hobbes.
Okay, so I never really sort of, I don't know, paid too much attention to this, but like he's basically using this girl to get information, learn how to surf, get on the inside. Then he falls in love with her. Then she finds out
Mm-hmm.
everything he said to her was a total lie. And on top of that, he's an FBI agent. She shoots the pillow. And his reaction is to leave a terribly awkward message
Yeah,
on her answering machine.
it's pretty awkward.
Yeah.
And I never thought anything of it until I watched it this time. And I was like, dude, you
What
are
you doing?
so past the point of leaving a message on an answering machine. Like, for a girl that lost her parents in a car accident and you used that as part of your lie, like you have failed so ultimately.
Yeah, there's no coming back from that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no coming back. So the futility of leaving a message on an answering machine is just
It's leaving a bad message. There's leaving a bad message, and then there's leaving a bad message, and then talking about how bad your message is in the middle of the message. Why am I
And
so
the
bad
deed
at
you
talking
did-
about my emotions? It's like, come on, dude.
and the thing that you did was like legendarily bad, dude.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
legendarily terrible, man. You know what I
But
mean?
then, like it's a gripe of Kev here, but like, and then it comes back around where like Lori Petty goes from badass throughout the whole movie to like weepy fucking lingerie damsel at the end. Like it's a little, I don't know. It's a little
I
shit.
don't know, dude.
I mean, it's
I
like
don't
there's
think
no
so,
coming back
man.
from it, and then like, okay, fine, he like jumps out of an airplane without a parachute, which we should probably talk about. But then she just like runs across like half naked, and it's like,
we're not going to.
I love you. You know, it's like, come on, dude. She's tougher than that.
I know, but he came to save her, dude, and her life
I
was like
know.
she was in like mortal jeopardy, dude. You know
She
what
was
I
in
mean?
Mortal Kombat, dude.
And Mortal Kombat, the sequel. No, Mortal Jeopardy is like the B-movie
Mortal
version.
Jeopardy!
Jeopardy.
It's just a Jeopardy
Yeah,
game where they kill you at the end. Is that all it is?
No, it's like Jeopardy, but like the final round is you have to fight to the death instead of
Hey, man,
answering
I'd watch that.
questions.
I totally watch
totally
that.
watch that, dude. Are you kidding? Holy
I don't know.
shit!
It's a
Mortal
grab
Jeopardy.
Kev, but I thought the weepy Tyler was unnecessary.
That's not really a gripe, Kev, but yeah, it's. I get where you're coming from. I disagree as well.
I get where you're coming from, but you're wrong.
Hang on, let me just dump the entirety of my dump truck on your head. So yeah, I kind of get that, but I don't think she's weepy. I think that's like the beauty of a movie like this, where you actually take the time, even though you have limited time in a just over 2 hours movie, to give the characters some growth and some depth. You know what I mean? So she's all like super tough and sort of impervious at the beginning, man. And then like she slowly softens up as we go through and falls in love with Johnny. And it's like, you know, then she gets taken in her underwear and fucking held at knife point. So yeah,
By
no,
the
I
dude
find
from
that,
Wayne's World.
yeah, by the guy from Wayne's World. So I find that fine and believable and good. But I see
And
her. I see your gripe.
I see what you're saying.
I recognize your gripe. Isn't that how the Na'vi say hello?
Fuck me, dude.
Stop it.
Remember, Chad, in the next movie, we get to see the Fire Na'vi.
Fire Navi, man.
Oh, God. Okay.
Stop it.
There is a... I really love when Anthony Kiedis shot himself in the foot. Like it was just this interesting little teeny weensy bit of kind of levity in the middle of a really like intense scene. You know,
it's perfect.
But, like,
They
him
just insert themselves into the 90s movies so well.
Yeah, it was great. Additionally, when like they first like the cops like announce that they're there, you know. They're like FBI, you know, da 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 da, drop it, and like one of the guys in the house says "fuck you" in the most interesting way. He's like, "Fuck you!" They bust out all these guns and just start unloading on everybody. It just struck me as funny,
Sure,
and kind of weird.
The dog tossing. I forgot about the pit
dog
bulls,
tossing
right?
was great.
Dog tossing. What the fuck? Yeah.
The dog tossing was great. There was a whole nugget about that. Like,
Was there?
Like they were talking about, how like they had a trainer who worked with his dog on the throw. The dog was only thrown from like a foot and a half away. And then like parts where like dogs were getting kicked, those were fake dogs.
Yeah, right.
Allegedly, of course. But yeah, that's how that whole thing worked. I
feel like Bodhi should be one of the characters in our fighting game, and like you can hit a special combo and the Reagan mask goes on and you can like throw dogs at the other dude. Like I totally think that should be a thing.
Dude, 100%. I love that idea, man. It would be the only instance where you'd have two of Patrick Swayze's characters from two separate movies, same game.
Totally.
Bodhi from Point Break and fucking Dalton from Roadhouse.
So you know that if we were playing it, we would each pick that shit.
Totally. And then, of course, Dalton, my son.
And your kid's in the game too.
Yeah, because his name's Dalton.
Totally. Shout out to the dead presidents or whatever, former presidents or whatever.
God, I really like that, man.
Very iconic.
Right?
Like it's a very memorable part of the film.
Totally.
Sure.
The ex-presidents.
They take on the personas every once in a while, kind of stuff.
Not a crook.
Exactly.
Nice one, dude. Yes. Oh, that's great. Just when when they're all freaking out by the fire when they know that Johnny's kind of, found him out after the whole like foot chase thing and all that,
Mm-hmm.
She like the way it's shot is like, when you like you hold your camera up at like firelight, or your phone camera rather, and it kind of will get that sort of grainy effect because of that natural light, like that's exactly the way that
super
scene
high
is.
ISO, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it was super grainy, man, just because it was like she just used the firelight that was there. I just like that a lot. I thought it was really cool,
Yeah, totally.
Like it's
I
just
mean,
super raw, super
had to be
simple,
done.
like
On film. If you shoot it digital now, you wouldn't. You could add it in post, but like it had to be fast film. It would have been a completely different film stock. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I just liked it a lot. I thought it was
totally.
great. Like everything looking like so like perfect and filmy all the time, like in movies. Like it's just not always great.
What was a constraint though? Like back in the day, there was no digital, so you fucking either you shot it or you couldn't shoot the scene. Like the surfing at night scene was obviously a day shot that they just put the filter over, which like I get it. That would have been too hard.
Sure,
to do.
but like with the fire scene, they could have added some kind of artificial lighting to brighten it up. You know
true,
what I mean?
yeah.
They
Well,
could
it's kind
have
of like Barry
messed around
Lyndon
with
being all shot with candlelight and shit. Like it's like they didn't have to do
Sure.
it, but it fucking makes it way better. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
That's
totally.
about all I got for bits and bobs, I think.
I think they'll, maybe finish up with the plane jump. Maybe any other bits and bobs, Benny?
No, I am in full disclosure completely out of
He's
steam.
toast. Yeah, he's toast.
All good. Let's finish up with the plane jump then. I don't know. There's like
That, and I want to just talk about James LaGrosse briefly, but yeah, let's
James
do those
who?
two things, and then James LaGrosse, the fourth guy in the
what's
crew.
his story, dude? Like, where the fuck do I know that guy from?
He was in Singles. He's been in a ton of movies, dude. He's a great actor, and he's just, kind of like he's always like the kind of the under the radar guy in this movie. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's super capable. He's been in a ton of stuff, man. And out of the crew, they did 2 actors and 2 surfers. So the other 2 guys, Gromit, the young kid, and Nathaniel had the brown hair. They were both actual surfers who did a little bit of acting on the side. And then you had Swayze and James LaGrosse, who were actors who did the surfing. So that's how they made that whole dynamic work. Like I thought that was really cool. And I just think James LaGrosse
randomly
is a great
he's
actor.
married to the daughter of Robert Loggia.
That's super weird. And he was also, for me anyway, most notably, he was in Singles because he played Kira Sedgwick's
Yeah, okay.
best buddy who had a ponytail, and what's his face? Campbell Scott called him the sensitive ponytail man.
I feel like he's like from another universe. Constantine on the TV series. I feel like he's from another universe because he's in 200 movies and I know none of them. And his known for in IMDb it doesn't include Point Break. You would have thought it would. But yeah, right on.
You would have.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Anyway,
He rocks a
Okay,
6 stash and a lot of stuff. But the plane
Totally,
jump,
dude.
man, like I don't know, like I think one of the things that's charming about this movie is the Red Bull-esque action sports bullshit because there's the right amount of seasoning. It's not over the top, and like you don't get much more tropey than a jump out of an airplane without a parachute, but it just for whatever reason really works here. I love it, and I love that even Swayze's character is just like, dude, you're fucking crazy, bro. Like it's just pretty. He's like, fuck it, and jumps out,
when he's jumping out with no parachute or the jump they do before that?
but no parachute.
Okay, yeah, that is completely crazy.
It's great.
Yeah, it is great. That they actually did a MythBusters on that.
Oh,
to
did
see
they?
if any
I
of
love
that.
some
Yeah, to see if you could jump out of the plane without a
I
chute
don't think you could
and
hold
catch
on
up to
once
somebody.
the parachute fucking popped out.
Well, they concluded that you could in fact jump out of an airplane and nosedive down and chase somebody and catch up to them.
Yeah.
They said they proved that there is zero chance that anybody's having a conversation while they're in midair
Sure.
falling,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I thought that was pretty damn funny, dude.
But did they determine if you can hold on to a person while the chute deploys? Because I just feel like that wouldn't work.
That I don't know. I don't remember.
While
It
we're
might
on
even
the
have
topic
been
of MythBusters, I think we should take a
While-
moment and shout out the recent collab between Bobby Fingers and the MythBusters gang from a couple weeks back. Like Benny shot that one through, and just another high five to Bobby Fingers for the Fabio Goose duck,
Oh
whatever
my
the
God.
fuck. It's so goddamn good, dude. I fucking love Bobby Fingers.
I didn't.
Did you watch it, Kev? You got to watch it, bro. You're sleeping on Bobby Fingers.
Which one?
The Fabio
There were
one,
two.
the new one. So he
The
did a
Fabio on the
diorama-
roller coaster one.
Yeah, he did the diorama on the roller coaster, and then he and Adam Savage and the slow mo guys all did a video. So there's 3 videos, and they're all worth watching, and it's just fucking great.
Okay, I'll check them out.
Did you see that follow up, Benny? The little like Adam has to find something in his cave little mini video I shot through.
Yes.
That was
Yeah,
great,
I've seen all the accoutrements, which is great. I love the mashup. It's
So good, dude.
you know, I love that in Adam Savage's video. He's like, yeah, clearly he knew, like he had watched enough of my videos to know like where the fuck stuff was in my shot.
Yeah,
Like,
I love that. I feel like I might be able to do that too. I've watched so many of his videos. I love
yeah,
it.
it's super cool. And I thought it was funny that like, you know, we got to hear Bobby Finger's actual voice where he
Yeah.
kind of sounds like an Irish like Marvin Martian, like you know?
Sure, man.
Like if you the Illudium P-32 space modulator.
Totally, dude. I don't know. There's something about Bobby Fingers and stuff.
Wasn't that
Who
his
was that?
real voice in the boat one? The Jeff Bezos face
He
boat?
pirates out pretty hard.
No,
and he kind of does
his
it like
voice,
soft
but
spoken
he
stuff.
definitely does the sort of, you know, he makes it very sultry and dark.
ASMR
but when he
kinda
actually
thing.
speaks as a normal person, yeah, like he's clearly doing a thing for the videos.
Yeah.
But,
I
you know,
got you. Okay.
it's his voice.
It's his
but
radio
he
voice, so
necessarily
not really,
sound
but-
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
So shout out to Bobby Fingers. If you guys missed it,
We were
check it out.
We were just discussing today that we need to find a copy of his romance novel.
Oh hell yeah! Fucking, it's got to be out there somewhere.
I think it is. Yeah, it was on Amazon. So
I love it. I
Good
fucking
stuff.
love the guy. He's one of the best YouTubers in the biz these days.
yeah, absolutely.
So maybe there's nothing to say about the plane jump, but I don't know. Shout out to the plane jump. Nuggets test ratings, guys? Huh?
Nuggets. What about those nuggets?
Nugs.
Let's see here.
Do you know how
There's
many
a couple
nuggets I'm going to get you from the shop around the corner?
I have no idea.
Honey nuggets.
And he does.
How many?
How many nuggets am I going to go get you at the nugget stand around the corner?
Get me too.
Exactly.
5.
I'm going to give it 2.
Give me 2.
C Lab. Get me too.
Give it 2.
There you go.
Not really a nugget, but maybe like a nuggety bob. We were talking about a Star Wars burlesque show in the green room, and there is a live version of Point Break.
Yeah,
There was a
interesting.
cool little like blurb about it where I was like, okay, that sounds dumb, but so it's the role of Johnny Utah is played by a member of the audience that's chosen after a brief audition, and they read their lines, or it could be a girl, from cue cards for the duration of the show to capture the
fucking love
rawness
this,
of
yes.
a Keanu Reeves performance, even from those who
I
generally
love
think
that.
themselves
Yeah.
incapable of acting. I think that's fucking hilarious, man.
I think
Like,
it's
I would
great,
totally
dude.
check
I
that
would I would love to see it. I would love to be in it. And also, I don't know if you read this part, is that apparently Gary Busey ended up at one.
Really?
And
I love
yeah,
that.
got up on stage and like everybody was just super.
They loved it. I mean, they would've gone nuts
enthusiastic
for
about
that shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like you hear about the live thing and you're like, okay, it's like, I don't know, Book of Mormon or some whatever. But like, I love that they take the Keanu performance and pull someone in from the audience. That's fucking hilarious.
Wow.
Like, that's funny.
That is hilarious.
It's great, right?
I'd love to see that.
Okay, so one of mine is that Kiedis, the reason why Anthony Kiedis' character got knocked out in one punch in that fight scene was because he didn't show up to the fight training they were having on the weekend.
He was too busy shooting heroin or whatever he was doing.
Who knows,
I
man?
love
Yeah.
it.
So they were like, okay, we're just going to get you. You're going to get knocked
gonna
out.
knock
with
you
one
out.
punch. I thought that was good. Yep.
That's great.
What else you got, Chad?
I got a couple of people nuggets. You probably know these. You had you had a double major. One was Mortal Kombat film historian, and the other was a Swayze expert. But Swayze began his career as a dancer in Disneyland's parades as Prince Charming, and one of the Cinderellas he danced with was Michelle Pfeiffer, which I thought was a random ass nugget.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And then I got a couple of Busey nugs. Well, actually, no. Like I got like I'm fucking Grateful Dead Scarlet Fire nugget, where this is a Patrick Swayze into Busey nugget, where Patrick Swayze was set to star as Danny Glover's role in Predator 2, but couldn't because of scheduling conflicts. So that was supposed to be Swayze. Swayze was supposed to be the main character in Predator 2.
That never would have worked.
And then into Busey was supposed to have a cameo as John Yutani in a Predator movie as in the Wayland Yutani Company, which I thought was kind of cool. And I like the idea.
Wait, sorry. Keanu was supposed to be one of the Yutanis?
No, not Keanu. No. Busey. Busey was supposed to be the Yutani from Wayland Yutani.
Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy.
I love the parallel universe where Busey is like the Elon Musk trillionaire that funds the Wayland Yutani. You know, he's half of the company. Yeah. I love that. So those are my random ass character nugs.
Yeah, no, those are good.
Hey.
And this is the part of the show where Kev reads IMDb trying to find a nug.
Oh, fucking eat shit. Okay, all right. I thought this one was pretty interesting. There's a lot of them. That's why
I just thought this one was interesting. I just read it.
Shut up, Dick. Michael Biehn. There was briefly talks of him co-starring as Bodhi, which I don't.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know, man. I could maybe kind of see that, dude.
I love me some Bean. Don't get me wrong.
Right?
He would have brought a very different energy to it in a way that I could see. You know, it wouldn't.
Swayze is just too good, man.
Yeah.
Swayze's so perfect for this.
Right?
The only thing that Swayze is more perfect for than Bodhi is Dalton.
Is Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's it. Them's my nugs. You got any more you want to read out there?
There was one other one that I was looking for, but it doesn't matter. Oh, I already said it. Yeah, the Willem Dafoe was the other one.
Oh yeah.
Turned down the role. That means he was offered the role, which I just age-wise it just doesn't work. I cannot wrap my head around that at all. So I'll end my nuggets at that.
Okay.
That Michael Biehn one I thought was pretty interesting. Deaths.
I died 53 times in the pregame. I don't know if you count those.
I said with an uptick because we haven't had any in so long. Ooh, this is like a threefer. Chad had all the deaths. Two of them happened before the show started, and then one happened right at the beginning of the show. That was not a Martin Lawrence or a Martin Short death. The second one was the fat mama at the house death.
None of these will make any sense because they probably won't be the show.
And then the third one was slave one, not two death.
Dude, I'm going to fight you on that.
Please. Fine, fight me on it. I'm looking it up right now. Internet, do my bidding.
Slave 2, you fucking bastard.
Hey, weren't you the one that was arguing for Slave 2?
Oh, no, you're right. It's Slave 2. There is a Slave 2, but it's not the one. Yeah, you're right. Fuck. All right, I'll take a double death for that.
Boba Fett's ship, Slave 1, was a model of a ship known as Fire Spray.
Yes, but Slave 2 was a Mandel Motors Pursuer class enforcement ship.
Oh boy.
When did we go off? Didn't we go off about that shit recently? God, that was fucking hysterical.
God, that was absolutely hysterical.
I can't remember what it was. I think Benny, you were reading some shit out. I don't know what it was. It was so good.
That's what it was. Ben started on the Wikipedia, and then I started in with him.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that was deaths. So, would you recommend this movie, Ben?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you haven't seen it,
there you go.
Give it a go.
Absolutely.
It's a classic.
Absolutely. Weird Lab.
Younger me would say no, and younger me was an idiot. And I think, like, I wanted to get, like, hyped up. Sometimes we talk about movies where, like, one of us goes from, like, yeah, it was good to, like, fuck, yeah, it was great. So I feel like I'm there. And
I like that.
yeah, it's just I knew I could get to a place where I appreciated it more because I just wasn't looking in the right. Oh, I wasn't looking through the right lens, dude. It's a great character study, lots of fun. Catherine Bigelow's the shit. The cast is great. What's not to love? Even the woodiness, even the Point Break live pulling someone from the audience piss take of the woodiness. I think it just adds to the charm. So, thumbs up.
I love it. Absolutely. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's a classic, and I think we said why it's so good. As Benny would say, we did it some justice. It's just excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Every element of this movie is so well done, and I think Catherine Bigelow and her
Male gigolo.
being a her and being a woman just brings a really different and interesting perspective to an action movie, and really gives it like a fullness and a richness that a lot of them would do well with, but don't have. And I think that's what makes this movie so special and so great.
Sure.
And it just still holds up beautifully after these many, many, more than 30 years.
30 fucking years. Holy shit.
I know. So that's it. That's all I got to say. Lab, what are we doing next week?
Yet.
Buy it.
Oh, we had we talked about doing the Mortal Kombat movie. I think as a twofer, didn't we?
Oh, fuck yes. Let's do that, dude. Yes.
I'm not at all optimistic about it. We should do it.
Why?
I don't
What do
know.
you mean? Why?
You're gonna take me to
Well,
history
what do you want to
classes.
do? Dude, I am a Mortal Kombat film historian, Chad. That's a
This is right
given.
in my wheelhouse. Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. It's gonna be so bad. We're doing the new Mortal Kombat movie, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
my god, I will never forget when I went. I remember when the movie came out, and I went up and I made some sort of dismissive comment about the new Mortal Kombat movie, and my boss, who loves Avatar, by the way, like he loves a lot of great movies that we love, like all of the great movies that we like, but then he loves Avatar.
But he likes the lower back tattoo of movies.
Exactly.
loves-
Exactly. And he
got a
said,
pen John for the tramp stamps.
Yeah.
and I
that's
made
it.
I made a dismissive comment about this movie, and he looked at me like, I mean, he was dead fucking serious, dude. Not angry, but just deadpan serious. And he was like, dude, that movie was awesome. I was like,
I know, man. I look forward to
Okay.
waterworlding
I
out
was
about
like,
this next week.
okay.
Be like, actually, it was really good.
I was like, okay. Hey, dude, Waterworld was really, really good. Avatar:
Hey,
Way of the
dude.
Waterworld, at the very least, the
Waterworld.
conversation was excellent.
That was a good. That was a good.
When he started going on about Avatar, oh my god! Yeah, but then we're gonna find out about the fire Navi, and then we're gonna find out about the dirt Navi. And I was like,
Holy shit,
nobody
dude.
gives a shit. Nobody cares. It's too much Navi for me, dude.
No,
Please
dude.
don't say Navi anymore.
Navi gazing.
Holy shit, that was funny. All right, well, there you have it, folks. Next week, I'm going to be busting out the PhD.
Dude, can you dress
In
up like
Mortal
the
Kombat
film
film
historian
history.
meme, dude? Can you dress up like the
Yeah.
big-haired dude from the memes that Benny sent through? Oh my god, you gotta do it. Ancient aliens guy.
Okay.
I love
Oh,
that guy.
Giorgio Tsoukalos? Totally,
Yeah,
dude. I would
you gotta
totally do
do
that. I love him.
We could. I'll Photoshop you a background that you can put in your Zoom with him out of it. It's just the background to that, and you can use it as your background in Zoom. And we'll put it up.
Perfect. All right, so next week we're going to be doing a twofer. It's going to be me and Chad. Benny's not going to be around, so stay tuned for that. I'm dusting off my PhD certificate in Mortal Kombat film history, so you're going to want to stick around for that, folks. It's going to be certainly very interesting.
So pumped
And that's it.
and not pumped at the same time.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. If you'd like to check out the show notes for this week's episode, you can certainly do so in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/258. Folks, thank you so much for supporting the show through the listening, through the Patreon, spreading the word, and the ratings and the reviews. We certainly do appreciate it. And for anybody out there that's new that would like to know how to support the show, that's how you do it. You can tell people to check out the show. You can rate us and review us on iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. And you can also just support us on Patreon, patreon.com/EBD podcast. If you'd like to join us on social media, Instagram's the place where we sort of congregate, and we use the handle @EBD podcast. So join us there if you like. Next week's going to be a twofer, just me and Chad. We're going to be talking about the new Mortal Kombat movie, quote unquote, as Benny's going to be away. So thanks for joining us for Point Break. We'll see you next week for Mortal Kombat. So long for now, folks.
Prophecy Lab, 2 for Troy Eagle, 3 for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Beady, beady, beady.
Grillies, bro. Grillies.
Mortal Kombat!
I actually
Dude,
thought that was... I wasn't looking at the screen, so I
You
thought
it
was
me. Dude,
you
remind me
were
to tell
playing
you,
the clip. That's how good you are.
remind me to tell you about the Mortal Kombat theme song in Port-au-Prince as part of the episode next week.
Did I tell you about the guy in my kid's kung fu class?
Nope.
Holy shit. This guy, the teacher will play the Mortal Kombat music while the kids are like, you know, kung fuing around and shit, you know? And
Well, everybody was
kind
kung
of
fu
goes
fighting,
between.
yeah.
Exactly. That was terrible. But yeah, he goes back and forth between, he'll use the Power Rangers music and he'll use the Mortal Kombat music, right? So like I'm standing there watching class one day in the winter, and like the Mortal Kombat music is just going and going and going, and right? It's like it's a small space, and there's like you walk in, there's like a counter, and then there's like a space where everybody can get like, into the dojo onto the mat, right?
Yeah.
So I'm standing against the wall, like in that little space, and there's a guy like, 3 feet away from me leaning on the counter, and the Mortal Kombat music is playing and playing and playing. Like, I mean, right at the perfect moment, the guy just like all the parents are completely quiet. He just goes, Mortal Kombat! So fucking great, dude. I was like, and then I looked over at him and I go, flawless. It was fucking perfect, dude.
Yeah, you would have loved that, man.
And I love that the guy just did not give any fucks whatsoever. And he was just like, I'm fucking doing this right now and I don't even care. And the other part was that none of the other parents in there, nobody batted a fucking eye, including myself. I was just like, dude, that was tight. Next,
Flawless
fucking
victory.
awesome. Flawless. Yeah,
Did he like
great.
the flawless? He would have gotten in the car and like chuffed with the flawless, I think.
Chuffed
He
on
would have been
flawless. Yeah,
His
no,
stash
he was
would have
cool,
been like,
man.
would have chuffed.
Oh man, we haven't had a good conversation about chuff.
Mustache spores would have shot out of his upper lip and pollinated the room with
Totally.
stashes.
Mustache spores. I like that.
Yeah.